Yeah, and like these days, if you walk past somebody and some like chav our age goes, "Hey, you fucking goth or you fucking weirdo," you think to yourself, "Still got it, still got it." But yeah, that's. But also when you had your little network of mates that were the same as you, that were like everybody else, that weren't watching EastEnders and fucking Coronation Street and stuff. You were drinking beer in the park and listening to Metallica or, you know what I mean? Aggressive music as well. Aggressive music that didn't necessarily make you an aggressive person, but made you think, yeah, I'm not taking any shit. I'm not, you know. And people laugh at bands like Motley Crue and stuff like that now. And even I do. It's kind of like my tastes have changed. Yeah. Apart from the first album, most of it's guff. But there's a lot of good, you know, a few good songs on it and stuff like that. But people don't understand how different they were when they came. Like Guns N' Roses, when nobody knew who they were. Yeah. And we were all walking around. I'm sure you were in the know back in that time. I got to know some of my best friends because they were playing Guns N' Roses on a stereo and nobody else knew who they were. And we were like, oh, God, you like Guns N' Roses? And people forget that it was it 18 months after Appetite came out that Sweet Child broke, and then it became
it was quite a while. I think they was ready to go on to the next one or shelve it or whatever.
Yeah, it was just before Donington, wasn't it? And that's why there was that sort of like 88 sort of thing. So bands like that, I mean, Guns N' Roses to me and you were aliens, but we wanted to be just like them. It was how these, I mean, they probably weren't a great deal older than us either, were they?
Probably not. Probably within like
8 years or whatever.
I was going to say like 7 or 8 years older. Yeah.
7 or 8 years. Yeah. So yeah, we were like, oh, but then you thought, well, you grew up somewhere fairly rural and small, did you?
Yeah.
And I grew up in a tiny little village in North Yorkshire, mostly from when I was about 9, 10. I was in like a little, but you weren't going to end up in a sleazy alley with some woman and loads of booze where I was coming from. More likely to end up in a barn being chased by a cow, but you still wore the clothes and wanted to be those people.
You wanted that little part of it.
Yeah, nobody else knew what it was. That was a great thing. You'd walk into the pub and everyone would be like, oh my God. Lucky for me, we had a local boozer, Whitbread, back in the days when we had when pubs belonged. And at some point, my mum got friendly with the landlady and landlord, and she ended up working there. And I looked so young when I was 18 that I couldn't get served anywhere. I'm sure you were the same because you're aging very well. But I had to carry my passport and stuff. But when I went into this local, because my mum was behind the bar, she could tell the landlady and landlord that this is how old he is. So me and all my mates would go drinking there. And this is a proper country boozer. And me and my friends would...
You get the whole get-up on just to go to this local country.
Exactly,
pub.
yeah. I've got me Rip Poison T-shirt, my frilly shirt, one of them hats with a scarf round it, cowboy boots, lycra. I bought some zebra lycra at one point and went in them. But after the first couple of times we went in there, because we pretty much went in every Friday night, everybody in there fucking loved us. Yeah. Absolutely loved us. Because we were the they're weirdos. And if somebody new came in and started giving us grief, all the old guys, all the old boys in the pub would be like, hey, you leave them alone. They're our weirdos.
That's awesome.
But you were part of a gang. And also, if you're not like everybody else, which I think people are becoming more and more, now that mental health issues and stuff like that are becoming more and more talked about, we're all starting to realize nobody's like anybody else. Everybody's got their own journey, their own story. But when we were doing that, and it was, you all banded together because you were the freaks and weirdos. You didn't know why. Why did this music appeal to us? Why did we like men who wore loads of makeup when we were straight or whatever? You know what I mean? It was like...
And have pictures of them on his walls.
Did you have one of them rooms where it was from ceiling to...
Ceiling as well, yeah, everything.
Ceiling and everything, yeah, I had one of them. A whole thing. You start off with a couple of posters, your mum goes, don't get carried away with that. Next thing you're cutting bits of kerrang out and it's all over it. But yeah, and then your mates would come round and you'd sit in there and you'd listen to music and it was...
Yeah, just take it in turns just to play one song. Yeah. It's like you cracked a code earlier on, I think. Like we cracked the secret code. We've got it. No one else knows it yet. We've got it.
We've got it. But also, I meet people who say, I'm not really bothered about music. And it seems so alien and weird to me. But that's obviously our drug. It's obviously our religion or whatever. At some point, somebody put a needle on a record and we just changed.
It was...